Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing well today. So in this video I'm going to be answering more of your questions because you've actually submitted a lot of them, so I'm going to have to split it into two parts. So this is going to be part one, or really I guess it's become a kind of a series now, so maybe more of a maybe part 4 or 5. But you'll see once it's uploaded. So yeah, so the first question somebody had was, does Santa Muerte have anything to do with dragons? And I do have an answer for that, but I feel like I want to get a little bit more gnosis about that before I speak on that. But I do have an answer for that, and I will try to upload a video about that really soon. Someone asked, can we get more meditation music for colors such as orange, blue, or brown? Absolutely. I have no problem taking requests for colored videos if I haven't made music for them yet. Yeah, I'll be uploading those pretty soon. I'll try to upload them within the month of November. Someone asked, do you think it matters if I'm a devotee of a different ethnicity? And I actually have a whole video about this on my channel, and it's titled Gatekeeping Santa Muerte, who was allowed to be a devotee or who was allowed to work with her, something along those lines. So just a few videos back, it's not that far back, it's on my channel. But no, I don't think it matters what your ethnicity is if you want to be a devotee. I mean, she has devotees of all ethnicities from all countries. She has a big following obviously in Mexico, but in the US there are people who are biracial who are devotees. She has a huge following in the Philippines. It's not even a Hispanic country, it's an Asian country. There are people in Europe that work with her. There are people all over the world that work with her. She doesn't seem to have any problem working with people of different ethnicities or geographical locations. She's pretty, if she turns someone away, let's just say it won't be because of ethnicity, race, heritage, or anything like along those lines. Santa Muerte is associated with death, and so some people consider her demonic. What are my thoughts on that? I think that some beings who are associated with death aren't necessarily demonic. I don't even know what that exactly means, but I think there are some beings who are more what we would consider like evil, I guess. But I don't consider her evil at all. I think she's a very dark being, and I think you can be very dark and not be evil. So, and not only that, but there are beings who we would consider to be of the light, but they kind of have a dubious presence. And yeah, she's because of the way she looks and because she has to do with the dead, obviously it can be very off-putting, and we associate it like a Grim Reaper with like Halloween, scary things, horror, darkness, evil. So the image can conjure up those kind of feelings and thoughts, but no, I don't consider her evil or demonic. She's just a dark being who has heavy ties with the underworld and the afterlife. What would I say to family and friends who don't understand my spiritual journey with Santissima? Well, honestly, I probably just wouldn't even tell them. It's not really any of their business, but sometimes people just find out on their own, or sometimes, you know, life happens and you have to kind of worship around other people. So in those scenarios, I mean, when people don't understand, you can't force someone to understand. Just like you can't force someone to kind of change their opinions on their political stance, or if someone's vegetarian, you can't convince them to eat meat. People have really strong opinions, especially when it comes to things regarding religion, spirituality, and, you know, spiritual beliefs. So I think that it's not really wise to try to convince people. I mean, I think if somebody's open-minded, then of course explain it to them as best you can. But for the most part, because of the image she has, and because we can already gauge that people might not even be open to having the idea of her explained to them, it could be so much easier, and it would save you a lot of headache to not even bother to mention it to people, especially if they don't even need to know. If it's not even on a need-to-know basis, you're just volunteering that to people. So with people who don't approve, all you can do is try not to mention it around them, and just try to keep it away from them, because it can be really triggering to a lot of people. And you always want to be conscious of other people. We don't want to make other people uncomfortable, just like we don't want people to make us uncomfortable. And every situation has a lot of nuance to it. So what I'm saying can't be applicable to everyone. So just take it case by case basis, really. Have I heard of Atlantis or Lemuria, and do I believe that I've had any past lives there? So I've definitely heard of both. I know that Atlantis and Lemuria are both considered like lost continents on the earth that sank during like ancient times, eons ago. So we know about the lost continent of Atlantis. Lemuria is like a counterpart to that. Both very technologically and spiritually advanced civilizations, allegedly, and sank, but they both hold a lot of spiritual significance, and a lot of people claim to have past lives there. I don't know if I have any past life in Atlantis or Lemuria that I know of. I do believe it exists. I wholeheartedly do. The stories really resonate with me. I don't think that they are as fantastic as some people might leave, you know, because some people are very imaginative, but I do think that they were real. I do think they did exist. And although I'm not sure if I have any past lives there, so I don't really know what to say about that, because I don't believe I have any past lives in Atlantis or Lemuria, but for all I know I could, because I was really into Atlantis when I was much younger, had like a phase when I was in middle school, so maybe. What books would I recommend to someone new? I'm assuming books about Santa Muerte. Probably the Grimoire of Santa Muerte Volume 1, and I think that one's by Sofia de Gregorio, and Secrets of Santa Muerte by Cressida Stone. I'll probably paste the images of the books on either side of me so you can see it for yourself. Does she choose her devotees, or does she always come to someone new when they seek her out? Both. I think some people, it's like she already knows she's going to work with them, so she's always around them. Sometimes she can be with someone. She was with me since I was a kid, and I didn't even know she existed until far into my adulthood. I think I was like in my mid-20s when I first heard about her, or late 20s, but she had been around me since I was a kid. Other people, they reach out to her for the first time and then she comes forth. So it's like either or. It doesn't really, I wouldn't say either one holds more significance, and I don't know what the reasoning is why she's with some people before they become devotees and why she comes to other people after they choose to devote to her. I don't know what exactly the logic is behind it, but either way, I mean, once you have an established relationship with her, then it's up to you, you know, how far it goes. How long have I worked with Santa Muerte? It's been a few years now. Not that long, actually. Some people probably think I worked with her a really long time. It's probably been maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 years, 5 years, maybe even. Maybe I'm being generous. Maybe I'm underestimating, I don't know, between 5 and 6 years maybe, give or take. What is my experience working ceremonial magic alongside Santa Muerte? Well, I've never really tried to work ceremonial magic alongside her. All I know, the only real thing I can really say about this is one of the times I performed, and she was already in my life at the time, I was already a devotee. One of the times I performed the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram in my room, and a friend was coming to pick me up to take me to work, and they're very clairvoyant, and they saw an image of me performing the LBRP ritual, and they also saw Santa Muerte present for the ritual. So I had the archangels around me, they saw the archangels emanating the different colors, and they also saw her with me present. She was actually, I had my arms outstretched chanting the ritual, and they saw her walking around me in a circle clapping, but she seemed very exuberant. So she seemed happy that I was like actually dabbling in real magic instead of staying in the box of being like an armchair occultist. And I also know that later on I wanted to know what she thought about it, so I asked her if she thought I should continue practicing the LBRP, or should I just not try any more of that. She told me that it would be a good idea, anything to get me into the practice of performing like magic, and she said that it would do wonders for my energy body if I practiced the LBRP regularly, along with like the Kabbalistic cross. and things like that. And I don't know if she would recommend that to everyone, but that's just what she told me. And it's the only thing I really have to say about her and her and ceremonial magic. Also, I did post a small video, I guess it was like a small story time about it in one of my older videos. It's called the LBRP and Experience with Santa Muerte. You can look it up. It's a pretty old video, but you can just search for it. Do I mind sharing my personal experience with the LBRP and the middle pillar? I've never performed the middle pillar ritual. I started to, or I was getting ready to, but there were contradictory like methods for it, and I never was able to figure out which one was the better one. And I heard some weird stuff about how if you do it wrong, like you're gonna mess up, and your soul, a part of you is gonna be trapped in the Clephotic labyrinth or some kind of like crazy nonsense. And but no, that didn't really discourage me. I think I just strayed away and started studying something else probably. But I did perform the LBRP several times, and of course the Kabbalistic cross, which like segues into the LBRP, or is like the opening and closing of it. But when I performed it, it felt very potent. The energy was really powerful. I immediately got really hot. I started sweating a lot because the energy was so strong. I remember how the angels looked in my mind. I remember the Archangel Michael and the Archangel Raphael both looked like really, I don't want to say generic, but they looked like how people depict them in like the old-timey Renaissance like paintings. That's what they looked like to me. Uriel appeared, he looked older than the other ones, not like an old man, but like maybe a man in his late 30s, and he had like a full brown beard. Like he had brown hair and a brown beard, like a full beard. Uriel. And Gabriel appeared to me as a woman, as a female angel, with like really long brown, like wavy hair, long wavy hair. And yeah, when I performed the ritual, I got super hot. I started sweating a lot, like breathing heavy. It was really intense. It was really cool. And after I finished it, it's so vivid the first time I finished it. Because I have constant mental chatter for me. Like I'm never without thoughts. I'm constantly having thoughts about my thoughts. And so the moment I finished that ritual, it was just like radio silence. It was like an echo in my mind. Like it was just like dead quiet in my mind, and it was the most unnerving but also absolutely amazing thing that I'd ever experienced in my life in regards to like my mind just being quiet. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should start doing the LBRP before meditating, because that'd probably make it a lot easier. Do I feel that Santa Muerte can lead a devotee down a ceremonial magic path? I mean, she knows a lot about it. I'm sure she knows all about it, and I'm sure she could teach it. I'm sure she's capable of it, but I don't think that's like her specialty, and I feel like she'd be better equipped to teach you like necromancy or something. And I feel like ceremonial magic, you'd be better off with like an angel, or I don't know, a different being, probably Raphael or Michael, or really any of the angels. Not that she couldn't, but I feel like it just feels so removed from her. She could, I'm sure, but again, I feel like somebody else would be better equipped. Also, I feel like the type of magic that she can be used with, which is a wide variety, somehow I don't feel like it overlaps with ceremonial magic at all. Do I plan on releasing meditation music for every rub color that there is? I would like one on the orange because I don't really know what it means. So, I mean, I probably will eventually release something for like every main color. Not the like half this, half that, but just every like solid main color, every solid aspect. I probably will release music for at some point. I just like having the tool available out there for people to use. If people make requests, I'll prioritize those videos. I'm kind of just making them, you know, with no rhyme or reason really. But yeah, I already know, I'm planning on making the orange, pink, blue, brown, and copper, and yellow, because those have all been requested like really recently. So I'll probably try to pump those out in the next few weeks. And as for the orange aspect, I do have a video about it. It's what does the orange aspect represent. So yeah, there is a video about that. It's a little ways back on my channel, but you can find it. And just so you know, the orange has to do with vitality, health, and physical vitality. So she is a great aspect for like fitness, people who work out, people who are dieting, health and longevity. Not health in like the medical sense like the yellow, but health like, think like somebody who's trying to live a healthy lifestyle. Somebody who like fitness, dieting, working out, that's kind of more the realm of the orange aspect. Can I do a video on the 3-color robe? That's the red, black, and white all as one aspect. So I can and I will. It'll be one of the next videos I make. It's a very potent aspect, very powerful aspect. And I recently channeled a little bit more about that aspect, and I'm really eager to share it with all of you because I think it's really cool and really interesting. Have I read any of the Dolores Cannon books, and what are my thoughts on the New Earth prophecy? I am familiar with Dolores Cannon. I think she's pretty cool. She's really interesting. As far as the New Earth prophecy, I'm not really sure what to make of it. I think, to me, in my mind, I think of it as like, I feel like we can shift through timelines sometimes, and I think that the New Earth is kind of like an ideal version of Earth that exists on a certain timeline, and I think it's more like people shifting to that timeline rather than some kind of like weird rapture kind of thing. But honestly, every time I hear about it, it's like it shifts my perspective about it a little bit, and a lot of what people say about it is a little bit inconsistent, so it's really hard to make heads or tails of it as of now, for me personally. Does Santa Muerte give you any prophetic dreams or thoughts, and have any of them came true for me? I know that there are rituals out there to like have prophetic dreams with her, but I've never asked her for prophetic dreams. Now, I have had some dreams that were prophetic, but they weren't relating to Santa Muerte. They were just random dreams I had on my own. That just happens to me sometimes. They're usually just like little glimpses of a future event, and they're usually those dreams, well, I guess they're not really dreams, premonitions. They're usually only 3 to 5 seconds long, and it's just like a little glimpse of something. Although the more I practice it, or the more I pay attention to my dreams, it seems like I'm having them more often. One that was really interesting I had was about the Vatican. I've been having dreams about the Vatican recently. So, but some of them have came true, some of them haven't. So I really don't know what to say about it, but I haven't had any dreams that were prophetic that had to do with Santa Muerte herself. Somebody said that they have dreams about La Virgen de Guadalupe with Santa Muerte, and that they were like together and they represented kind of a yin yang kind of a thing. I have no idea about that. I have worked with La Virgen, but it was a long time ago before I started channeling. So, but I am interested in that, and I probably will ask and channel about it in the future. And if I can answer, I will share it to hopefully help you shed some light. But I wouldn't hold my breath about it because I can kind of take my time when it comes to channeling sometimes. So please be patient with me. Amazon is limited to specific statue colors. I'm looking for purple, brown, orange, and blue. So eBay and Etsy. eBay has an enormous variety of the weirdest statues. Statues that don't follow any kind of color scheme. Statues of her riding on all kinds of animals. All kinds of weird outfits and dresses. Wings, crowns, hearts. Statues where the scythe is made out of flowers. Statues where it's like 3 of her together. Statues where she's holding a cornucopia with like coins coming out of it. Statues of her dressed in Aztec attire. eBay has all of the incredibly unique statues. Etsy, to me, is better for the different colors. There are people on YouTube who make a lot of Santa Muerte content that also sell Santa Muerte statues. I know the YouTuber Janelle Longoria sells Santa Muerte statues. She's really, her Etsy store is pretty good. But yeah, Etsy definitely. Etsy and eBay, but I lean more towards Etsy. Those are like, I guess you I feel like I trust Etsy more than eBay. But eBay if you want more unique, but Etsy definitely for all the different statue colors. Definitely, I've seen like copper, silver. I've seen interesting colors on Etsy. So definitely Etsy. Okay, this is my last question for this video. Is there a blue or purple combination or a brown or yellow combination? I have no idea about either of those, but I'm writing them down so I can channel about them or find out if they exist the next time I have a channeling session. I actually have a lot more questions here, but it's actually starting to rain, and I'm gonna try to film this next part tomorrow, and I'll upload that the moment it's done. So I'm gonna get off this or turn this camera off and immediately start editing and immediately upload it tonight. But if you have any more questions, I will be probably making another community post within the next week or so for y'all to submit more questions. I have no problem answering them. And I just want to say thank everyone. I just want to thank everyone for being really patient with me, because I know I upload kind of irregularly. But I try to upload as much as possible because all I want to do is really help people. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. If you want more like this, then of course subscribe. I have a huge Santa Muerte playlist on my channel. And all of this video series of me answering your questions, it's in its own playlist on my channel as well. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one. Take care.